Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, I love it. It's got the logo and everything.
They should hire me in the Newark airport as an airline traffic controller because I hear there's a shortage.
I think they need some traffic controllers.
Yes. Yes. It's nice to finally meet you.
Likewise.
Somewhat.
Likewise. We've been connected online for years, it feels like.
Yeah. Like we are kind of best friends, but
Exactly.
it,
Digital besties.
it's like when people are like, "This is my new boyfriend." It's like someone they have never met before. Like you're my new best
Uh-huh.
friend.
Other
Well,
people are like, is the boyfriend in the room right now? Can other
yeah,
people see him?
yeah, yeah. He's washing dishes. He's in the basement.
Yeah, yeah. He's just out of frame laughing at all my jokes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's preparing my brunch. Also, I am Michael James Schneider. I am also a Michael James. My middle name is James, so
I
first
didn't
name
know
Michael,
that.
middle James. So growing up, I was often the family MJ.
Nice.
Do you go by the full Michael James
I
Schneider?
usually do. I usually do. Yeah, MJS meets MJE. I do, and I think I do it for a couple reasons. I do it to honor my dad, who passed a couple years ago.
Is
His
that
first
your
name
cat or
is
mine?
that's my cat. That's my
That's
cat.
oh my god, freaking
Is your cat
hilarious.
is your cat nearby?
No, well, yes, out of vision. But look, I have a kitten who's who's obsessed with all these chords on my table. So I was
Oh, that little
prepared with
jerk.
this.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
little shits. This one's about a year and a half old. I got him because I finally felt ready to get another cat after
yeah.
my other cat passed. And I was nervous because he looks just like my cat who passed away a couple years ago.
Oh,
Looks exactly like him. He was a rescue.
yeah,
Like some
yeah.
friends found him in their backyard. And I get him here, and his personality could not be more different than my
Uh,
former cat. So that's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. But he is very vocal. He will not shut up. So you will hear him. He's obsessed with
oh,
the building's lobby for some reason.
oh, that's funny. He's freaking a nosy. He's like a little like reporter. He's like he wanted like TMZ waiting in the lobby, seeing who's coming out. Who's gonna step?
Yeah.
Who's gonna come out of
There's
the elevator or down those golden staircase?
there's three other cats here who live in the building, and he always kind of like checks in at their doors whenever he goes out to the lobby. I
Yeah.
think he thinks the lobby is just a room that I don't let him in.
Oh,
I'm just mean and don't let him into that room of our
yeah.
apartment.
That's funny.
So
Yeah, the
mhm.
concept of like the brain and the analogy of cats. Like my cats watch me go out my front door into the car and leave, and I just like think, what do they think? Like,
Yeah.
what do they wonder, or do they not wonder or think anything?
hmm I think it's that they think we're just like hunters going out to like
Yeah,
hunt for something, but then every day we come back with nothing, and they're like, "Wow, they must be a really bad hunter." I'm gonna be
unless
friendlier to them
unless
because
it's a
they're just
Trader Joe's day and I come home with paper
yeah.
bags, which I will empty my groceries into the fridge and cabinets, and then throw my paper bags all over the living room, and they just love them for a couple of
Oh,
days.
that's cute. I should remember that. I
They,
don't think Steven has played with bags very much. Pretty much
yeah.
everything else, but I think he'd be a bag cat.
Oh, I identify with you getting another cat that sort of resembles a cat that's passed. My big, delicious, beautiful, bestest boy, chicken tenders passed away in October,
Oh,
which
I'm so
is,
sorry. That's soon. That's recent.
yeah. Well, my brother passed away 2 weeks after that, not to be dramatic.
Wow,
Um,
no, no, we're
yeah.
we're grief twins.
Yeah,
My
Griffin.
my dad and cat passed away in the same month a couple years ago.
Oh
So
shit. It's a
grief
lot to sort of
twinsies.
absorb and take in and then also face the world, with sort of like a
Yeah.
smile, not a but I have this new kitten that I got after he passed. But my cat that passed was chicken tenders, and then someone sent me a link from the San Francisco SPCA that there was this little orange kitten named Chicken, and they're like, "It's a sign you should get him." And I was like, "Oh no, that's too much of an
Yeah, it's too
emotion to
close.
like this is not him. It was too much." So that's why I got this like black and white monster
Cute.
tuxedo, just because he's a complete opposite.
Cute. I love
Uh,
that. Have you seen the movie Flow yet?
no, I've
Oh,
not.
it's so charming. It's so charming. And I think it won an Oscar this year. Just this like scrappy little, I want to say, I could be mistaken. I want to say it's a Polish or Czech film crew.
Yeah.
animation crew, made it all with just like over the market animation tools. On the market animation tools, really, really humble beginnings, but it's this really incredible story. No dialogue in the movie, animated, and it just won a bunch of Oscars. And
Oh,
Steven was coming in to the living room while I was watching it from the other room, and he froze in his tracks. I was like 20 minutes into the movie,
oh,
froze in his
jeez.
tracks, and then just slowly did like the Homer Simpson, like backing up onto the
Oh, right, right,
couch,
right.
and then just sat on the couch and raptly just like looked at this movie. I've never seen a cat so enraptured with a movie.
He's like,
But
I'm into this. He sits there and like puts one paw over the other. He's like, I'm ready.
yeah, yeah,
D-
he
d-
does his little prancy paw.
Dad, bring me my snacks.
Exactly.
That is crazy. So, Michael,
Oh
I
no, you
I
just
wrote down
froze. You
notes and
just
I
froze
put
after oh
balloon.
Mike. So Mike.
I put balloon guy, but I don't want to be disrespectful. You're an artist and you're an author.
Yeah.
And I was scouring the internet earlier. And we'll get to all your trolls later, which was like baffling me.
Yes.
You're like a wanted man by MAGA.
Uh-huh.
But like, how did the balloon art start? Like, because that's what a lot of people know you as, is like, I feel like it's protest through art.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how did it
Well, and
begin?
speaking of trolls, like even the term balloon guy, I think, was invented by trolls.
Oh, it was.
And somebody thought that I was like super offended by it. Just kind of like how years earlier I came up with this box wine boyfriend project, and they
Mm-hmm.
called me box wine boyfriend for a couple
I
years after
remember.
that. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, no, I'm not the box wine boyfriend. He is, but that's okay. If you call me that, that's fine. So I'm sure like the next viral thing I hit on, they'll call me that too.
It's like
There was
grasping the
also
concept. Yeah.
a tweet, of course. There's always a tweet for everything, and they were like, "Oh yeah, like he hates being called, balloon guy, so definitely call him that." And so I do get some of that, but I couldn't care less. Like just call me whatever. I don't care. Blacksmith isn't necessarily the easiest artist name to remember or spell.
Sure. Like they
So
imagine
that's
you out there like just hammering, like blacksmithing and working with
mhm.
like hard
and just
materials.
wailing and gnashing my teeth, so frustrated that they
Yeah.
won't call me blacksmith.
Very
No,
very
I don't
Portland. That's where you're at, right? Portland.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been in
Okay.
Portland 12 years now. I started the balloons probably like almost exactly 7 years ago. It was May of 2019, I want to say, 2018. I think it was May of 2018 I started doing this. And even before that, my art was always a commentary on online culture and pop culture.
Yeah.
And it was always sort of like taking, you know, online tropes and turning them on their end a little bit. So the balloons were always on my radar. I saw them in so many wedding
Sure.
announcements and baby shower announcements and birthdays, and they're just used for everything.
My sister has
Uh,
young children, and I look at your placement of all the letters and how you're able to capture them, and I'm like, that is no easy stunt because my sister's daughter or my niece just turned 5, and just with
uh,
one balloon in the shape of a 5, and my sister had to take like 50 pictures to get the balloon like facing the right
uh-huh,
direction.
uh-huh. Yeah. No, it's definitely a test of my patience. I did this one shoot. I was just like, yeah, I love typography and typographic artists. Jenny Holzer, Barbara Kruger, any of those just iconic typographic artists. I love their stuff. And so the balloons were always on my radar. So I finally did one, and it said, "I just pooped at work." It wasn't like a big mental health quote or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was this. It wasn't profound. It was just this like silly little thing with me laughing in it, and it did okay. And I just
It's
kept
funny.
making those
I went back
occasionally.
into your history and I saw that today. Sorry to keep interrupting, but
No,
I
that's
saw
okay.
that because I was like, how did we first catch my attention, and then how you've kept my attention, and then I went scrolling back today, and so I saw I pooped at
Okay.
work. I love to
Yeah.
talk about poop, and then the other
Yeah.
one that I saw, it was like not a balloon thing or anything, but like you had a pizza on your pillow.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been the very first time.
That
You
was a
caught,
favorite one too.
anyways,
Yeah.
I keep going, but like I went back in history today, and I
Yay.
remember I saw I pooped at work art, and then I saw the pizza with you like this, which was like,
Yeah.
that's how I first met this guy.
Yeah, no, and I love getting back to that weird stuff. The typographic stuff is wonderful. I love still doing them, but I really love when I got my freak on, and like when my it was just really concentrated. I was just concentrated on making a weird, disturbing image.
Yeah.
And so now that I'm a full-time artist, as of like a year and a half ago, I have been able to like get back to that a little bit.
And congrats on
That
that. Full-time artist, amazing. Make it
wild.
work.
Wild,
Make it
barely. I
work.
mean, it feels like I'm retired. It's a good thing. It feels
Yeah.
like I'm retired. I compare my leaving my job with seasonal depression a little bit, especially in the Pacific Northwest, where we are, hibernating all winter. It's gray, even if it's not snowing or raining. It's just
Yeah.
gray and overcast all the time. And we finally get this gorgeous day in like February or March. It's like the fake out, like the 70-degree fake out day.
Yeah.
Everybody's in tank
They're,
tops and
they're
shorts.
cutting
And
off their jeans into shorts for
smiling,
that day.
yeah. And everybody's smiling and like talking to each other and talking about the weather, and I'm like, oh, this is how I should feel all the time. I don't think I'm seasonally depressed, but maybe I am, because this is how I should be feeling all the time.
You
And
get
I
some of
kinda
that
felt
vitamin
like,
D, and you're like, ooh.
yeah, no, and I felt that with my job. I was just like, I love my job. I love the brand. I worked for Louis Vuitton for 10 years, back of house manager. And I love my coworkers. I still hang out with a few of them. But once I left my job to be a full-time artist, I was like, oh, this is what I was meant for. This is what
Yeah.
I'm supposed to do. This is my calling. This feels great. And I also was like, how the F did I fit all of this into
Yeah.
2 days off a week
Right.
before? No
That
idea.
struggle is real. I'm doing that now because I have a full-time job. And then I just started back up the podcast, and like, it consumes a lot of time and energy, and I don't want to complain money and like creativity. And like, if you only have like this allotted amount of energy and like you put it into like 50 hours of like work to get a paycheck, and then you're like, what's left? And you're like, and then you're expected to squeeze into those 2 days. So I get it.
Yeah. I think, what was it? Last year, the buzzword was authenticity. And I think this year, my own personal buzzword is bandwidth. Like just having the bandwidth to do everything, and having the bandwidth to like know, like setting boundaries, and when you can commit to things and when you can't.
Yeah.
So this whole year has been an exercise in just sort of like rationing my bandwidth and like what I have, the bandwidth for and what I don't. I definitely think the election, and then especially inauguration week, have tested my bandwidth, and have tested just, as a person whose job it is to be chronically online, and to be, to keep pace with the speed of the internet and with online culture. It's been a challenge.
Do you feel like a sense of responsibility now, because the world is such a mess and like there's so much things happening daily?
A bit.
Do you feel sort of like now, like, because you're like the voice, and you're like almost like a responsibility to like respond and create art? It's almost like I see you like holding a mirror up to like everything that's happening, and then in a clever sort of fun, satirical sort of artistic way sometimes. But it's like, I didn't know if like now, because it maybe is your full-time gig, do you feel have like a responsibility?
Yeah. Well, and it was, this is, to be honest, and it's not something I've really talked much about publicly before. It is tough being a politically outspoken content creator and artist in this environment. I was advised by people after the election to sort of take it easy on the anti-Trump stuff if I wanted to book jobs with brands and book more brand deals, because that really is a big chunk of my income now that I don't have that regular income. I do have to pay the bills still. And, it's always smart for any artist to diversify. I sell prints. I sell
Queer and Feral
merch.
And Feral.
I sell apparel and stuff. And so those are great sources, but really it's the brand deals that are our bread and butter. And I was faced with that. I was faced with a really serious decision of like, I'm either going to be politically outspoken or I'm going to book brand deals and figure out how to like, use that money in order to pursue agendas of fairness and equity.
Right. It's there's so
And
much to fight. Yesterday I recorded an episode and like we talked sort of about like having to choose about what to get mad about. So
yeah,
so saying there's like
yeah,
it used to be like this one thing that happened and it went on for weeks and months and like people protested about it. But like there's the news and the what's happening with the Trump administration there every single day, multiple times
relentless.
there's something new. So we don't have time to like protest something because there's something new and
And
then
that's
there's
by
like
design.
and then you
That's
feel
by design.
exhausted. Yeah. And then you're exhausted. Like Rachel Maddow, Queen Rachel, was always just like, don't listen to what they're saying, watching what they're doing. And it's just like, there's something that I live by. Like, you listen to what they're saying because they're saying words and trying to distract you, but you really need to watch what they're actually
What
doing.
they're actually passing
Anyhow,
and the bills, and
Queen
because
Rachel. Yeah.
they'll say a lot for sound bites just to stir up outrage. And of course, the algorithms are now uh, sort of supporting rage bait.
Mm,
And in anyone's feed, whether it's Meta or otherwise, there are things designed to just make you mad on a daily basis. You can only do that so much before you burn out.
yeah. It's like adrenaline overload. And then
Yeah.
you're just like,
So I was facing that. I was facing that decision of like, do I become do I stay politically outspoken, or do I try and like, kind of go down the middle and make everyone happy? And I had even archived a lot of my anti-Trump merch and a lot of my anti-Trump posts and things like that. And it was a month or two of doing that. We ended up not really booking anything
yeah,
in those 2 months. And then the inauguration happened. And I mean, we all remember inauguration week. It was just a shit show. It was like announcement after announcement
yeah,
of like whose rights are they going to infringe on
yeah.
and take
Those
away
first
next.
100 days. Yeah.
And after that, I was like, no, fuck it, unarchive all of that stuff. I'm going
Sure.
to be outspoken. And I really look at it not only from an emotional point of view, but I look at it from a business point of view too. Everything happens in cycles. The pendulum goes back and forth.
Sure.
And right now, companies are very much, bending the knee to Trump, and they're very afraid to hire outspoken, politically outspoken content creators. But I know the pendulum is going to go back the other way. I know that the pendulum is going to swing, and Trump is going to do egregious enough things, and his administration. I say his administration, not necessarily him. He's doddering and senile, and he's just being propped up by
Yeah.
Stephen Miller and the rest of the people on
Yeah.
his team who are
100%.
actually the policymakers.
Yeah.
You see him at these events where he's like signing executive orders, and
Oh,
he
and
has
he
to
holds
ask
it
them
up.
what he's signing.
Yeah.
He has no idea what he's even signing off on.
That's the
It's
thing. He's
really
just so dumb, which
his
is
team that's
dangerous.
policy making. Yeah, and so we just have
Dumb
to.
is dangerous. That should be a slogan. Dumb is dangerous.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, dumb is dangerous. I'm going to spell that in balloons. But that's where I'm at right now, where I'm just waiting for the pendulum to swing the other way, because it is going to get cool again to hate
Yeah.
him when he does enough to affect his base too. There's always going to be his core base that's going to worship him no matter what he does. But there will be some people who are a little more moderate who are like, this isn't what I voted for. Like, this is insane. And I've seen that online. I've seen rumblings of that. Friends of friends who have like conservative friends say that they hear that a lot. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be enough at the midterms. I don't know if it's going to make enough difference. If enough, fuckery with voting machines or how the election's going
Yeah.
to go
For
is
his
done.
third term.
Exactly. So we just have to wait and see what happens, which is a little nerve wracking in its own right too. Of
Yeah.
just seeing like how much damage can you do in 1.5 more years.
Yeah. 100%. And going right into like you unarchiving and putting yourself out there anti-Trump, like that opens yourself up to like literally personal attacks and then your own personal safety. Like, have you ever thought of like, I recently discovered that I had just personal information online, like home address and stuff like that and phone numbers. And I went through all my sort of like social medias, and I started like making sure that was all either private or hidden. Cause I feel like I remember seeing recently that you were addressing some trolls online, and I like how you do it. Cause you're sort of like, you put them on blast and then you're like, hey everybody, this is this person. They're publicly attacking me and like threatening my life and like very like homophobic usually. Like they're really unintelligent, really cheap and lazy, like insults. But then I scrolled and I was like, oh, this didn't happen to you once. This happened to you like multiple times and multiple platforms. And I'm like, do you ever feel like unsafe, like in your own world, or do you feel protected enough?
Ish. Yeah, that's a good question. I think
because I will cut somebody if they come at you. Okay.
Oh, I appreciate that.
I will cut you. I don't have I only have kitchen knives, but I will come after them. Like we need more people. Yes. Anyhow.
No.
Okay.
It's weird. I experienced it the first time on a mass scale a few years ago, around the time of January 6th, when I posted the cake that I made out of Trump's account being suspended on Twitter.
Delicious.
That went viral. It was wonderful. It was really, really great, and I was happy with the result of the photo. I did that on my lunch break. I just scrambled to do that within 24 hours because I know that the news has just like this very finite half-life.
Smart.
And so I scrambled to make that photo cake. Took the photo on my lunch break from work, posted it while I was in the Uber back to work. By the time I got to work, it was already like 20,000 likes and already going viral. And so I was really happy with that. But then that same weekend that I posted that, that was the last weekend that Parler was still a thing. They were shutting it down that Sunday night. So Sunday morning.
Wait, to remind me, that Parler was Trump's Twitter? No,
Parler that was like the far right Twitter. It was like even worse than Truth Social.
Okay. I remember it, but I wasn't like having this crazy.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay.
And Milo Yiannopoulos posted the photo of me holding the cake, and he was like, extremely paraphrasing, but he's like, this photo alone is proof that armed groups of Trump supporters should go to every, leftist in Washington, California, and New York. He didn't even say Oregon. He didn't even get that right.
What the fuck? How rude. Come on, you guys are freaking hippie liberals.
Kill all the leftists in these states. And so after that, I got doxxed, and I woke up the next day to death threats and to big trucks honking outside my apartment building.
Jesus Christ.
People texting death threats to me. And I filed a report with the FBI, and of course never heard back. Never got any kind of response.
I just imagine you stepping out on a balcony in like a big white robe and just waving to everybody. I don't know. Totally. Just waving to everybody.
And then all the trucks passing by with truck nuts from like Eastern Oregon.
And then going back into your apartment like in zigzag formation to like
new fans.
Get out of the building.
Serpentining.
Okay, not funny at all.
But yeah, that was my first experience, and I got like an alarm system after that, and filed that FBI report. And I don't know, I'm quite sure I've already been doxxed so many times over that it doesn't even matter. I have a weird intersection of haters online. It's this bizarre Venn diagram of like either MAGA dipshits or like really mean Brooklyn queers. Like they I don't know
Brooklyn queers come after you.
They're that like meme of like the holding hands, the emoji.
The dipshits I understand, but the Brooklyn queers I didn't know about.
Yeah, no, mean Brooklyn queers. They're too good for this art.
Like, go take your mullet and mustache.
That's where the haters started. I think on Twitter, it was just like stirred up by a couple other extremely online popular leftist artists. And they drummed up their followers. I will say like Adam Ellis has like he's got this like weaponized twink army that he sends after me every once in a while, and I'm like I don't want to play that hater game. I also think that there's a kind of strategic thing that some people do where they try and create public rivalries with other public figures, whether they even care that much about it or not, in order to just like make their own following more loyal.
Sure, to monopolize on like your Yeah, because like
Um,
I think also in like hopes that like you'll also like you have quite a following that
that
you'll
I'll
engage,
engage,
and
and
then
that
you'll post something
it'll, you
and then
know, will
they'll snatch your followers or something.
or will like cross pollinate each other,
Yeah,
and
that, yeah, yeah.
I don't play that game. I don't have enough time for that game. I got to go on a bike ride later. I don't have time to do like online beef
Right.
like that. So I usually just like block those people and let them talk to their own echo chamber.
Yeah. I think that's like such a nice way to deal with that. Just show them in either picture or video that like your life is pretty damn good. Just like reflect back to them instead of like living this like cesspool of like hate and anger, darkness. Like literally show them something like you lying in a big field of poppies or
Exactly.
flowers. I
And I have strong opinions about it too, because I am, I'm a 51-year-old queer dude. I don't know if that makes me a queer elder or not,
dude, I turned
but
53 in a couple
oh,
weeks and I can't fucking
congrats,
believe it.
happy
And I'm
birthday!
saying it out loud is like
It creeps up on you,
big.
doesn't it? It comes from nowhere. But I
Anyhow,
also
I'm
come
sorry.
from a place where, like, when I was growing up and when I was coming into my own, gay and queer people, we didn't have gay marriage yet. We were still very vilified from like the Reagan era, where he wouldn't even say the word
Yeah.
AIDS or HIV
Yeah.
for 10 years. While all of my elders were dying. And so I come from like that old school of like queerness and gayness, where we all just kind of like supported each other and
Right.
maybe like talk shit about each other like secretly.
Like a local
Um,
level, like think locally, act globally
yeah,
was like a
yeah.
saying back then. I'm sorry.
I remember that. I remember that. It's funny. I actually, from that era too, I came across a quote from Keith Haring that was kind of like inspirational to me, because I had a little bit of anxiety about like leaning too much into like my merch sales and things like that. And
Mm.
I'm just like, oh, that just seems like really, really cringy to like, push my merch that much. And then I came across this interview by Keith Haring. He's like, what am I going to do to this queer kid who wants to like buy one of my paintings and can't afford it for like $30,000? Like, of course I want them to like own a piece of my art, and my merch is
Yeah.
probably like the only way they're going to do that. Like, Keith Haring was very pro merch.
Sure, sure.
So that made me kind of like, I'm no Keith Haring, but that did put things in perspective for me a little bit.
It is
That
true.
one of my
Like they get
artistic
it.
heroes felt that way.
Yeah, getting it out to like a lot of larger audience. It's also
Yeah,
like an
yeah,
international audience, audience. And I could just see some like little kid in some like town in Iowa wearing one of your T-shirts, but also scared to death. But like to wearing that, because like
yeah.
wearing that on your chest is like sort of like out and about. It's like sort of alone a statement and can be dangerous. And
Yeah, yeah.
okay, going
It's a
into
form of
this,
activism.
I was scrolling again earlier today and I stumbled on something on your page. And at first I thought it was like satire or like a joke. And you had like this firearm safety training.
Yep,
And then
that
I
shit's
saw
real.
that and I was like, wait, is this a spoof? And I open to all and interpretations of everyone's ideas of like gun laws and all that kind of stuff. But like I didn't know at first it was a spoof. So I watched it and I read it. But like you had a firearm safety training at your,
Yep.
or I'm not sure if it was your home or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I held a few trainings with. I partnered with this local, very leftist, sort of defensive training group,
Sure.
shoot and defensive group, and they're wonderful. They're queer or queer positive people who train, and they have specific sessions for like femmes and thems,
Okay.
for specific queer people. And I've, I think when you are seasoned, like we are,
It's a
I
very
think
diverse,
you realize, yeah,
divisive conversation.
you learn to recognize patterns, and you see sort of like the way that history is going. And we've never been through anything like this. And I think
Yeah.
younger people look at this and just think, oh, well, this is what happens when a conservative president gets elected after a liberal one.
Like
And
this is
no,
not
this is
normal.
This is
Yeah.
not normal.
That's such a
This is
powerful thing too. This is not
absolutely
normal. Yeah.
unprecedented. This is not people just like, overreacting. I think as queer people, we're really good at sort of getting the lay of the land and seeing how culture feels and how society feels. And it feels very unsafe to be a queer person. I'm saying that. I live in a blue state, or it's a blue state. It's a blue
Sure.
city with a lot of red around it. But, Oregon is very, very leftist and very liberal. I have the privilege of living in this like very protective bubble, but most of America does not.
Yeah.
It feels really, really unsafe to be an unarmed queer person right now.
Yeah.
And
Ooh,
while
I share that statement right there just is could piss people off too. Cause like the people that are like anti-gun.
yeah,
Right.
I think it's safe to be anti-gun when you don't feel threatened.
Sure.
I think it's a form of privilege right now to be anti-gun when we know the other side.
You want to arm yourself with as much.
Well armed.
Yeah. What's so funny you say that? Like, I'm in San Diego, which is sort of a really weird culture of people. And like, it's liberal, like in a couple blocks, but like, it's not as soon as you get on the freeway to go somewhere. And I just moved into a new apartment. And my sister from back in upstate New York sent me this lawn ornament. It's like wood. It's out of heart. It's rainbow, and it says "Be kind." And I have a front lawn. And the other day, I just moved to this apartment. I was gonna go out to my front lawn and just put it in the front lawn, and it's right on the street. There's buses, and I somehow I hesitated. I was like, do I want to like move into this new neighborhood and just like, pew, fireworks? Like the queer has moved in. Like It was just such a funny thing. It was like such a small thing, but like I felt I didn't sure if I wanted to just like make this huge declaration that like a queer lives here. Everybody look at me. And so like I haven't put it out there. Does that make me a pussy?
And that's real. No, it just means you're a realist and you're just kind of like it's smart to be cautious. I mean, we learned that pretty early on, and I think any marginalized community learns that pretty on of safety in numbers and just knowing your audience and knowing what is going to be safe to put out there.
It's always been a thing, like
Gary
being out and proud. I'm so about, but like I've been around for a while. I remember when me and my husband first started holding on hands in public. It was immediately I felt my heart race. I felt my like, sweating, and I sort of like. A decade later, felt the same idea when I was going to like make this declaration and put this like lawn ornament out there. And I sort of got this weird, like my heart was beating. Like another random story. I lived in Tennessee 2 years ago for a year, and it was like Trump flags everywhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
And when I would drive to work, like I had this really weird, like the hair on the back of my neck would stick up. It's those people that have like these shitty homes and like a Trans Am. And then why do they always have 25 flags in their front yard? It's like, don't tread on me, Trump flags, yada, yada, yada. But like, why not just one flag? Anyhow, so when I was in Tennessee, I had this weird animal instinctive, like hair on my neck stick up. My heart raced when I went through certain neighborhoods, and I was driving a Subaru. Somehow I thought they would know I was queer because I was driving a Subaru. Anyhow, just these weird awarenesses that like gay people have, or like LGBTQ, or any probably like people of color have the same sort of feelings sometimes.
Yeah. It just being in a space where you are not welcome and not safe. It's disillusioning, but I think it's also necessary. Like it really just kind of hammers home what this country was founded on. Was pretty dark, and I think there's no great again for America to go back to. Like I don't think. That mic's attacking you.
Look.
Oh my gosh.
This is the
Hello. Baby. Wow. Look at those beans.
Show me your toe beans.
He's a sweet kitten. How old is he or she?
He's like 7 months.
Wow.
Want to hear something crazy weird and like
always.
random?
Always.
That's how I describe myself. Crazy, weird, random. He was
Perfect.
born. He was born on the day chicken tenders died. It was
Oh,
not planned, not anything situated that way. I got him from this rescue, and then when I got his paperwork and everything like that, he was born on the day chicken tenders died.
that's
Woo!
so sweet. And that's also like kind of just kind of like a great way to celebrate that date going forward, but
Yeah,
also hold chicken tenders memory like sacred too.
I think someone
Like,
has an onion nearby. I just got crazy water.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I would too. That's
Yeah.
that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyhow, sorry that he's the cord monster.
I love that.
Apple has received a lot of money from me lately for new chargers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Trump's
my
going after Apple this morning. That was the thing I was just watching on the news before we talked. Trump's going
oh,
after,
that's
like, he's
right.
going to go after Apple, and
The 25% tariffs.
yeah. And so this morning, the news, I was watching MSNBC News, and they were like, "Can a president go against an individual company?" It was just, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "I got to go talk to MJ, Michael James
Yeah,
Schneider."
yeah. No, that is wild. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just like whatever like he's hyper fixating on that day
Yeah.
is like what gets called out and what he starts like truthing about on
Taylor
his
Swift is
stupid
not
little
hot
app.
anymore.
Yeah, like what was that even? That was so random and weird and like, old man, why are you fixating on this like 30 something woman? That's so strange.
I've never in my life wanted to like physically harm somebody, but anyways, I can't really say this out loud. But there's things
No,
that I
no,
want to
you're
do to
not
Donald
allowed
Trump.
to.
Yeah, he evokes this emotion out of me that like it's just like animalistic. I just want to
It's
tear
just
his
so
face
stupid.
off and
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
shit
oh,
in
if I'm
his
ever in a restaurant with
skull.
him, I'll never be in a restaurant with him. But
You
if I
never
ever
know,
am,
Michael. You're a highfalutin.
yeah, it's also like related to the things I come out with too. I did a shoot that was 8647. It was just 8647 in balloons on the side of a graffiti dumpster. And it just, oh, especially on Facebook, everybody was up in arms about that. And I was like, hey guys, like it just means to kick someone out. It doesn't, you're confusing it with 187. It doesn't mean to kill them.
What
And
cop
so
killer?
everybody
Yeah,
kept saying like, no, no, no. In like ye ancient mob times, like that meant to drive them 8 miles out of town and bury them 6 feet under. And I'm like, nobody uses that. No, nobody knows any mob people.
yeah.
Like that's not a thing that people use. That is not popular in pop culture. That's not a thing. That's not
That's funny. Everyone want to be.
8 miles out of town and
There's
6 feet
some
under.
song. Everybody wants to be a gangster, and it's till you got to do gangster shit. I don't know where
Yeah,
that came
everybody
from.
also wants to be a victim. The right is just obsessed with like being victims.
Yeah.
So I don't play that. But also the other one I did was 4 more years of looking at my phone every morning to see if he's dead yet. And that also, like, people were tagging the FBI.
Oh
They're like,
yeah.
oh my God. And
I
I'm
saw
like,
one of your trolls.
no, no, I can wish that somebody's dead. I can wish for their like, speedy end. That's not a threat. Like,
And
that's just me
yeah.
hoping that they die.
And like the Simpsons have never been wrong that when that meme comes up with Trump in a casket.
Mm-hmm. But he beat it this year. They gave a specific date and
Yeah.
it didn't happen. So
I will be playing Celebration by wait, who sings Celebration Time? Come on. Who sings that song? Is that YMCA?
I've got merch. I've got a merch planned. I'm gonna monetize this death.
You have to act fast. That's the thing. Like
The speed
you
of the internet. I've got a
like, you're-
shoot done already. So like the minute I hear, I'm just gonna be like right
like
there.
you're an on-call artist because you have to be prepared to seize the moment for the type of
Mhm.
work you do and get on it, dude. Get on
Yeah.
it.
You got to be online and pop culture aware.
You're my hero.
Oh, you're mine. That's
Ah!
very kind.
I'm interesting. That's all I'll say. So what what what's next? What should people watch out for? Do you have anything fun planned besides keep going?
That's probably an artist's like least favorite question, but I love that you asked it. I don't even know. I'm always surprised by what's next. In the long term, like what the next big art project is going to be.
I guess it also depends on what the world is going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah,
you wake up in the morning and you turn on the news. Yeah.
Reflects the world and vice versa. No, I've got a few things I'm really, really excited about. I'm going to take a big long trip to LA soon.
Oh,
That's my old stomping grounds. I lived in LA for 12 years before I moved here to Portland 12 years ago. And
well, if you want
it's
to meet for coffee,
officially,
call me.
it will,
I will
absolutely.
drive up.
Let's
It's
do
an
it. Let's
hour and a
meet
half
up.
away.
But I think in a week or two, that officially will be Portland being the longest I've ever lived in any city.
Oh,
I'll have lapped LA.
yeah.
So I've got an LA trip scheduled. I've got a lot of celebrities and notable online personalities who I'm collaborating with. And so
Dude.
that's going to be really exciting because I haven't done that in a while. I've got book 2 coming out in August, which is going to be really exciting. That's called The Writings on the Wall, and it's going to be sort of like an interactive mental health, like Mad Libs and stickers and coloring pages. That's all sort of like based on my art.
Well, it's also
That's
like
really
I was
exciting.
when I was on your Instagram earlier, like it linked to I think a mental health service page. Oh no, a good prescription. Like I remember
Yeah, yeah,
trying to
yeah.
find. I was
So,
researching.
so, so Good RX, we love them
I
because
know,
they
so
partner
random,
with
but like,
politically outspoken artists.
yeah,
So we love them. We also love a good paycheck.
good
But we
RX.
love Good
Yeah.
RX because they support politically outspoken
Well, I was
artists.
just like
So
milling around and like it's like you left your house and I was like going through your drawers this morning. And I was going through your drawer, looking in the refrigerator. I'm like, where's the good shit? Where's the stash? And then I
I
clicked
love
on a
that.
link and I went to Good RX. And I was like, oh. I was like, is this I went back and clicked it again. I'm like, okay. It
Yeah,
wasn't it
yeah.
wasn't by accident.
Yeah,
So
no. They're sponsoring the politically outspoken artists, so we like that. But that will revert back to my link tree very soon.
yeah. I
Um,
just was like, I was like, okay.
yeah, yeah. No, and then next week, depending on when this airs, this may be over already. But the first week of June, I'm going to Summit Detroit, and it'll be my first time in Detroit, my first time at Summit, which is kind of this like uh, thought leader conference, but
Yeah, of
also at
course.
night it turns into a party.
Isn't that where
Uh,
Greta? Oh God, what's Greta's last name? The young woman who's
she wasn't she at South by Southwest? She
she
may have been at South by.
she was everywhere for a hot minute. Why am I forgetting her last
Yeah,
name? But Greta, the
Thunberg,
outspoke.
Greta
Yeah,
Thunberg.
yeah, I
Yeah,
love her.
I
Yeah, I just
can't wait for her to like call me out
yeah.
for all
Why
the
would she?
mylar balloons, for all
Oh,
the
I was like, why? Yeah, I was
that's
like, oh,
that's my favorite thing. That's usually the focus of like the not the MAGA dipshits, but the mean Brooklyn queers
is
leftist
there any
group.
way you could do that like
Um,
nicer to the world? It's not like you like finish the project and you let the balloons go into the
well, they
air.
think I do. They think I do. They think I throw the balloons away after every installation, which is just bizarre. Like, why would you? That's like super villain
Just tell
status.
them
Why
that you
would I
eat
do
them.
that?
Just tell them
And
that you
then
fucking eat them,
two, they love to
budgie.
oh
Oh.
there we go. There we go. There's the little noisemaker.
His
That's
eyes are like, oh
that's
shit.
the one meowing in the background.
He's like, I wanted you to pick me up so bad. Now put me down.
Exactly,
Oh, he's
exactly.
like a blue.
Mm, he's just
Oh,
sweetie.
well,
Um, but yeah, I forgot what I'm saying.
balloons and getting rid of them and
Oh,
a kinder way of doing it. And
not only the mylar, but people accuse me of helium waste, which
oh,
cracks my shit up because it's obvious I don't use helium in these. It's obvious that they're stuck to the wall with tape, but
sure.
also this size of balloon isn't compatible with helium. Uh, Even balloon or party stores and stuff, they will refuse to fill these with helium because it's
Oh,
not large enough to displace. They're only like 14 or
oh,
16 inches each.
gotcha.
And the helium's designed for the big balloons that are like 30 or 40 inches because those are large enough to hold enough helium to displace and float the balloon. So like this size of balloon doesn't even hold helium. It's designed to be filled with air. So it's incredibly
Ah,
annoying and frustrating when
misinformed.
people say that. And also just like, you know, I, I have
No.
a pinned post on my profile explaining the sustainability of my materials,
You
and people will still just ignore that and like go
yeah.
right. They'll even comment on that post and say like, "Why do you waste so many balloons?" Well, just read the caption of the post you
Yeah.
just commented
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Well, that's such like a reflection of the world right now. Just like bark, 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 bark.
Yes,
And the
yeah.
answer is right in front of you. Like, or
Hmm.
like the information you're barking about.
People
Just
don't read.
open your
People don't read.
eyes.
I am trying to start that rumor that Balloon Guy can't read too. So if you could help me perpetuate that.
Well, I have never seen you read.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that reminds me of another favorite mean tweet that was recent actually. So I did this shoot with all my assistants for the year end shoot. It was like a special like year end shoot. And we get to the location. It's raining like crazy. And so finally there's a break in the rain. It's like a 45-minute break according to the weather app. And so we all scramble to like put the balloons on the wall and do it and take the photo and then all scramble and like take them down. And it was fun and it made for like a really cute video. Well, somebody like cut that up or took screenshots from the story I posted about it, from the reel I posted about it. And so they were like, oh my God, like this is some next level evil shit. All his assistants set up his posts for him or his installations for him. And then he shows up at the last minute, takes the photo in the installation and then leaves.
You sit there like an executive chair just with your legs crossed with like a cigarette with like a long filter.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Higher.
They're like, that's some evil Jeff Koons shit right there. And
Jesus Christ.
You can look at any of my content and see that that's not the case, that I do all these installations myself with one assistant. It's just people will weaponize anything that they want for likes.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, thanks so much. I think like I don't want to take all your time. Like,
no,
I really appreciate you taking the time to chat because I know how it is these days. Like sometimes people don't want to like collaborate or do podcasts when someone doesn't have like the equal amount of followers or something like that.
God,
like,
shut up. No, I've been a fan of yours for the longest time. This was wonderful.
Well, I love that, but like I bring that up also because like all of my accounts have been like, I don't know if shadow banned was the same thing. I have not had an increase in followers in years.
Sometimes fuckery.
But it's like I have sort of been shadow banned, whatever. I don't even know what that means. And also like when I post shit, I'm just like I try not to get involved in like validation of like numbers and clicks, but like they're so low. And so like whenever someone with like a huge following like wants to chat, I'm always so happy because I want to be like, I'm shadow banned, like I'm so sorry.
It's hard. Instagram and just Meta in general, the fuckery with the algorithm, it is tough out there. So I'm glad you reached out.
Show me a guy like shirtless, like smelling his armpit. Somehow that jumps into the algorithm, or you know, it's just weird how like everything that I do that like I care a lot about doesn't get a lot of attention.
No, it's
and then I just post a Gus Kenworthy picture and like they're like 17,000 likes, and I'm like, I get it, he's fucking hot.
My explore page on IG is just this weird like amalgam of like inspirational quotes, and just like hairy bears. Like that's all my explore pages right now.
What is that naked area that people go? Is it Hippie Hollow? That in Portland there's like a place where like people go swimming when it's hot. It's like a hike.
Rooster Rock.
Oh, Rooster Rock.
Rock and Savi's Island.
Okay, I've never
opposite ends of the city, but yeah.
I've never been there, but I know I see often like people in my sphere, world going there, and it looks like a cool place.
You have to come up. I would love to be tour guide.
Rooster Rock.
Yeah. You'll
show
have
your
to
cock
come up
at Rooster Rock. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
Whoa. Take it easy, Mike. Take it easy.
Thank you so much, Mike.
All right. Keep me updated. Don't be a stranger. And let's fucking take down the MAGA.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would love to.
Let's chat soon. And thanks for chatting.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.